Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. Give me 1 second. I'm just still getting everything set up. All right. So we're going to start part 2 of Hi Deb, hi Deborah, hi Judith. Let's see. Oh, I can see from there. Yes. Hi. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. Yay. We're going to start part 2 of making the pearl. Part 1 was just interfacing and tips and tricks I thought were crucial to have a nice closed wallet when the snap was on, because there's a few comments saying that after sticking some cards in the slot it was a tight fit. So that was part 1, and it's in our events group, and it will always, if you search my name or go into the past events, you'll see it. And tonight, part 2, I broke the swoon wallet, this pearl wallet, up into 3 parts. So part 1, we're going to do pages 2 through 5. We'll stop at 5, and then we'll continue so on and so forth. So it's like 4 pages roughly each time we do this, and then on the 4th day, we'll be all done, and then we could just flood the wall with all of our beautiful pearls. So we're going to start with part 2, and part 2 is a magnetic snap. So on number 2, we're going to be installing the magnetic snap, and this part's really crucial because there's a male and there's a female, and they have different measurements. And I'm going to put this wallet together so you can see there's a female in here. So the male gets tucked into this little pocket. And snaps in place. Sorry, I made this when I first did the first one of this. I used the exact interfacing. It's not very. It's more collapsible than sturdy. So this part will become the top. Now, with this being said, I've tested this, and this is a snug fit, very snug. But I think it's because of how the card slots are. They're interfacing with woven interfacing on the back, and it just adds a bulkiness, like from this exactly where the magnet snap is. It has like a stream thickness, and it's not as thick the rest of the places. So I think that's 1. 2, I think they have the female going up to. I'm going to try 1.5 inches, because I'd rather it be a little bit loose than being tight where I can't stick. I'm going to call a spade. I shove like 100 cards in one slot. I get gift cards or business cards. I'm just like, okay. I clean out my wallet probably like once a year. So, hey Erica. So we're going to do, this is the reason why I say it's crucial. The wallet that I made, let me take this magnet off. The wallet that I made initially has no direction. So you need to know that the female part is in here, and the male is going to be sliding down. So if you have like roses, like I would have it going up this way, so that way when it folds, or you might want it going the other way. It's all about your personal preference. I don't have directional fabric either. I have a tendency of not doing directional fabric a lot. I like a toss print. So we're going to install that part, and then with one of the main pouches, we're going to put the female snap in, and we're going to put the male snap in the tab. And then we're going to do the card slots. most of page 4 is just all the card slots because there are a lot of measurements. And then I think where I see a lot of people having problems with is actually on page 5. That's why it's like super highlighted, because when I first read this, I almost made the same mistake. There's a measurement that says, okay, after you cut apart the slot, you cut apart the the slots, it says trim 1/4 of an inch off of each short end. And then in bold, it says only to 1. But at that point, you're just like, what? So we're going to just follow this part and it will all come together. But I feel like page 5, third paragraph down is crucial. That's why there's bold print, but I was this close to cutting it. And I think that's where I see a lot of, discrepancies. Yes, I'm only doing it for, Beth, I'm only changing I can keep it at this, but I just wanted to give it a go to see if it will, because this is a really tight fit when you put it on. And I don't know if it's just the interfacing, which I'm hoping it is, and everyone can keep it at 2, or if I should move it down like 1/4 of an inch or even 1/2 inch, so that way I can stuff the pocket, or whoever gets this wallet will can stuff the pocket. Hi, Kathy. All right. So let me take this on the side. I'm going to not have it too far away in case we need to look at it. You're going to grab, that's not right. I always have one that falls. Pattern piece 7. And I'm going to move all this paperwork aside. And grab pattern piece 7. You're going to get the exterior piece, not the lining. And it probably helped. Oh, I have my magnets. Haha. All right. So try to do this where everyone can see. You're going to see that if you printed out everything lines up very easily, and it gives you exactly where to put the magnets in, right? Because I use Bouncy, the Bouncy firm from Serial Bag Maker, and just Shape Flex over this, it's not super thick. So with my magnets, and sometimes rivets, depending on where I want the extra support and I don't want it to tug and rip, I create like a faux washer, even though it comes with one in the back, so that it has something else to cling on to. And it's only like that little bit of thickness where the magnet area is. Now, this pattern asks for like the slim magnets. I didn't have that in stock. I also have hair on your dog hair. I have the regular one, and I wanted to use the rose gold with this, so I was like, yeah, regular. So I'm using that. My seam ripper, one of many that's around here, and there's always a pin in my hair, and a pin. So depending on what direction you want yours to go, you're going to follow as such. Okay, so the mel, which again goes inside the wallet, goes 3 inches down from your center point. And if these half pieces work fine, but if let's say you don't have it on hand right now, you could just find your center and just make a little mark. Hi, Tammy. Oh, thanks. I bought the project bag with hopes that I would go to a retreat. Yeah, that hasn't happened yet, but it will. I'm optimistic. So 3 inches for the male. It's exactly 3. And the female, it says 2. I'm thinking I want to do 1 3/4 or 1/2. I have to, yeah. All of us are waiting for the retreat, and then we all can just be like kumbaya-ing together and making bags and talking about fabric. Okay, so let's just play it on the safe side, and I'm going to just attempt, because I did go lighter in the lining area, I'm going to do 1 3/4. Okay, so like you've seen many instructors do with their magnetic piece, you grab the washer that all like to bunch together. You have your template and draw. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm looking for my glue. I have glue, so I'll just use some 3-in-1 because I can't find my seam one. So what I do is I do poke from the wrong side. So this one's going to be the female. I don't go in like, I just try to go and make a little tiny. Oh, I wish there was a retreat tab. When and where and how. So this is going to be the female. And I just put it in. And if it's like kind of snug, then I'll do it again. But I rather not rip a huge hole than be like, oh no. Because I've had that oh no moment way too much. Let's see. Alright. So what I do is you could put your washer on it, fold your prongs inward or outwards. I'm going to dab a little glue on this. So, I mean, it's not going to really fray because of the interfacing, but better safe than sorry. What I do is I love scrap fabrics, and I love when scrap fabrics are vinyl and they have some kind of stabilizer, whether it's Decoville, whatever your fancy is. Even if it doesn't have it, then it's fine. What I do is I take these scrap fabrics and I grab a pair of scissors and I just create like small little washers. So it can reinforce that area, because again, this is, if you think about it, it's one piece of stabilizer and 2 pieces of woven cotton holding up this really thick magnet that's supposed to keep everything intact. So there's going to be some pull. So I make little vinyl washers. Oh, it helps when you do it with the actual. Yeah, sometimes if I'm riveting the area and the rivet head is not flush with the post is not flush with the fabric, I'll do that behind too, where no one can see. I just feel that, I don't know, it's something that I just do. When I watch like leather crafting videos, they're always putting leather washers on everything. So I was like, maybe they were onto something. and I just put the washer directly on the back, and I like to fold my prongs out. And you can duct tape this if you wish. I have duct tape. I usually do it when I'm doing just purse feet or if I'm turning out a whole bag. But I might do this because you are gonna, you know, flip it. And I'm a person, for some odd reason, when the prongs always cut my hand. I have no idea why. So I'm really happy about the duct tape method. So then the meld's gonna be 3 inches down. I really wanted to do rose gold. And maybe add glue like I did the other one. It doesn't matter which way direction you put up the vinyl. I just like the reinforcement. I mean, the prong is the reinforcement. I've just seen wallets where like the magnet is really strong and it's pulling at the fabric, and in my head I'm like, I don't know, I just feel like it won't hold up very long. Duct tape in my cart. It's really so whenever my husband, his name is Kendall, he goes to the hardware store, I'm like, yeah, pick up some duct tape, and he's like, no, it's not at all weird, just buying rolls and rolls of duct tape. So but the first time I seen the duct tape trick was on the Day Tripper from Mrs. H, and I was like, why didn't anyone tell me about this? So this 7 is done. We're done with that one, and then we're going to grab one of the number ones. Where did I put? And we're going to do the same thing. This is going to have the female that will be going in this way, this direction. No way, I want some butterfly duct tape. That would be really cool. I'm now going to have to be in search for it. I think that would be really awesome. And I get the rubbing thing too, because if the prongs, even if the prongs are facing outwards, the friction of like pulling in and out the fabric over and over again is going to wear on it. So now I'm thinking about butterfly and polka dot duct tape. Thanks, Dalva. Yeah, he would really like that. It would help if I put the female. A little glue. I like to put glue on everything. I'll show you when my room is finished, and it's almost finished. My husband's putting in right here behind me is my ironing station, but it was made with an IKEA cubby hole thing, but it was like something we had for a very long time, and when he built this huge ironing board for me, but it shifts, like it goes sideways. So I seen in someone's Pinterest where they took a cabinet and they put parchment paper, not parchment paper, they put heat sealant on the top of the dresser, and they made it all a whole wool mat, like the wool mats that you get for ironing. And I was like, yeah, I want that. So we're constructing that tomorrow. We're gonna be building that up, and I'm really excited about it. So you have your 2 pieces. And we're going to be putting the Mel on a tab. My rivet press, I never bought the magnet one. I feel like it'd be relatively easier on your hands, but I haven't seen a need for it. If you want it and it works great for you, I say go for it. Like, I'm an enabler 110%. I want you to have all the things. But I haven't got that for my press. Just like I keep forgetting to get, they have a cam snap one, and I use the old hand press for like the little plastic buttons, and they have it for my rivet thing, but I just never get it. I don't know why. Oh, I know. They were back ordered on something. IKEA was back ordered on something, and my friend was like throwing a whole big tiff over it. I'm like, you have to calm down. We are in a pandemic. So for the cams, now I'm gonna say cam. For the Mel part on one of your tabs, you're gonna go 0.75 inches down from the top, 1.25 inches down from the middle. And it helps if I find my center. You guys can't see the blue on blue, but I can. Let's see. Yeah, IKEA sometimes is always busy and always out of stock of things recently. And I mean, because it seems like everyone's redoing their rooms. 3/4 of an inch down, I apologize. So what happens to me a lot, I have like washergate. Like somehow, some way, every single time I lose a washer. Every single time. Yes, you could put a clear slot. I'm going to make this pattern exactly how it is, but I'm thinking about, after this is all said and done, making what I would modify on it, like a whole separate video. But I'm one of those people that believe that making the pattern the first time, originally how it's supposed to be, is really important, because you need to see what you want to modify on it. That's why I always encourage people to use, like, garment making. If you were to make a vintage dress right now, you're not going to just grab the most $75 yard of fabric. You're going to make a mock-up. You're going to make a muslin, and you're going, just like a corset, you would make a mock-up, because something could be off, lengthening, how many spiral steel bones you want, whatever it may be. So I say the same thing with bags. When I do the tour, you'll see I'll have a whole bunch of bags in my room that I made modifications, or I wrote notes on them, and I made with muslin, and I tried with different interfacings before I tried with my more expensive fabric or my more expensive vinyl or leather, because the pattern designers are genius. They do stuff that I cannot even do. I cannot put together a pattern, but I can modify something to what I like. The best people I know, some of the best people I know, make their bags over and over again to make it to perfection, to suit their needs. So my suggestion is to make the first one out of the ugliest fabric you could possibly make, and then go forth and have fun and then explore, because at least you have one underneath your belt and know how the card slots are going to work versus being frustrated and saying, hey, I give up, this pattern was too hard. Oh, a muslin. Okay, so all right, when you do corsets or dresses, you make a mock-up. Have you seen any like tailoring shows, like when someone gets a custom wedding dress, they take all their measurements and they make a mock-up, because everyone doesn't have, their waistline is not 3 inches or 3 fingers above their belly button. Everyone's hips and everything are not the same, so they make muslin is literally like cheap fabric that you can just, manipulate for the dress. And I do that with bags because I do it with dress and corsets, so it just made more sense to do it with bags. I'll be right back. I gotta get a washer. Let's see. All right. Washer here. Yeah, it's cheaper fabric. You can actually go into Joann's and you can get it for like $3 a yard, and it's not even on sale. So then you can use your $40, and it's just cheaper fabric. Or some people use their muslin, like if I go into like Walmart and they have like a 99 cents a yard fabric and it's like absolutely hideous, I always buy like the whole bolt, so that when I'm making costumes or whatever I'm making, I use that, and then I can know how to manipulate it. But for when I'm making muslin bags, I like preferably the muslin, so that way I can write what I want to do differently to it. So we're going to put the mill 3/4 of an inch down. In this area, it gets snug, so I'm going to cut down this vinyl because I don't want it to be too bulky. Oh, this is, I have blades for this too, and I've never changed this out. This is a tulip pink one. I got this as a Christmas gift, and it's my favorite thing to poke. But I also have a Nova cutter, and yes, I got refills for it because it says Nova, simply just because of that. I got a Nova cutter from Amazon, and I have the refills right here, and I sometimes use that too. I generally, I've got like artwork just because somebody said it was a Nova. No, the one I use, this one is a tulip pink, and the other one's Nova. From it, it's on Amazon too. It's all black and it's blue. It's pretty pretty. Do I have it around? It's probably at one of my workstations. I use it a lot. Okay. And that one's all done. Okay. Yeah, with my quilts too, I use muslin too, except when right now I have this Wizard of Oz quilt that I'm doing, and I'm trying to find the perfect backing. Like I want like a yellow brick road, or I'm either gonna paper piece like ruby red slippers, but I haven't figured it out. I'm trying to get that done before the end of the year. So we're gonna put these pieces away, and now we're going on to the card slots. So as if you remember from last week, I'm using the Starlight fabric from Connecting Thread, and I interface just the back with buckram. They usually use that for hat making. If you're into making corsets, chances are wherever you buy your supplies, there's tons of hat making supplies. So I use fusible buckram, and yeah, and oh yeah, I think there was one piece I needed to fuse. I have my handy dandy little and there's the magnetics thing after I had to get up and get it. That's how it works. Oh no, I don't. Okay. So with this, we did the measurements, but I'm going to do them again. You're going to measure 4 and 4.25 inches up, and this right here is going to be your lifesaver. Oh, okay, thank you, Delva. I'm definitely going to, yeah, I'm gonna need all the all the pretty duct tape. This right here is going to be your like go-to, because it has all the measurements. And then I like what Alicia did, because she has, you know, 4.25, 6.75, 6.75, but then she has from the bottom edge, it's 11 inches up, from 17.75 inches up, 24.5 inches up. Like, she has the measurements, and that is key. Like, I think the most intimidating part to me whenever I do a wallet is always the credit card slots. And every designer has like their own personal preference and their own method. So I was a little intimidated. But, oh, you can go as far as like paper. So you can go, hey, this is 4.25, and fold on top of the paper. My someone taught me that trick with the NCW. That was the first wallet I ever wanted to make was that. Yeah. I don't know what was wrong with me. I can now do it in my sleep, but. And you're going to use a lot of stain. We kind of ironed it a little bit. Well, I pressed it. If your fabric is delicate, or if you're a person that gets shiny spots a lot, it might be that your settings are too high. And then if you use a I'm just dropping everything. Fabric cloth, it will help prevent the shininess. Oh, it's it's crimson. I was really had like, yeah, 2020, I'm gonna go to my first retreat. 2020 had different plans for me. And then we're gonna go up 6.75, which is exactly 11 inches. So if you were to go from the bottom, you measure exactly 11 inches up, and then you would crease. So what I did is I put the interfacing right below where the credit card slot was supposed to be, so that way I could have a nice crisp like when it hardens, it's a nice like crisp filling. And you're gonna go 6.75 up from that mark. Yeah, this little sucker has some serious steam too. Make sure your fabric is lying like straight with each other. Yeah, this thing gets quite hot. That's why I have my press here. But because this, I've worked with this shimmering glitter, it's like really resistant to heat for whatever the reason may be. It can handle some heat. Yeah, they get real hot real fast. And you're gonna go this, I'm sorry, this is 6.75 too, and that is 24.5 inches up from the bottom. So you have all these little ripples, and then I'm gonna put this down here. You're gonna mark 2 inches from the bottom, and my ruler is exactly 2 inches. Because this is where you're going to, this 2-inch mark is where you're going to put this the card slot when we're going to be all said and done. I used buckram, and I'm gonna put, I got it off of, I think you can get it off of Amazon, but I got it off of it's a place that I get my corset and like costume making. It's a place in Philadelphia, and it's like it's like a corset shop, and then they also sell it like for Vogue for corsets. It's because normally they go hand in hand, because people who make corsets can make hats or other unusual garments. So yes, I agree. I feel like woven makes it thick too. So instead of buckram, maybe you could try so I have this one I got from fabric.com, and it's called Structure. It's a medium weight fusible interfacing. I use this on like everything. It has like it has like a really strong, its name is Structure, and it has a lot of structure and a lot of body. It's non-woven though, and some people are opposed to doing a non-woven. I'm not a big fan of Shapeflex 101, but I'm not a big fan of woven interfacings. Especially if it's not going to be something that's washed all the time. If it's like a piece of garment, or then yeah, you want the same thing as your fabric. But I find it's just that if the wallet's not going to get washed, then, and if you plan on using Declaville Light, that's not woven. So be open to maybe some other non-woven interfacings. But I got this from fabric.com and it's called Structure. And it's $2.77 a yard. Yeah, amazing stuff. I use it a lot. Like, a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark down from the 4.25 and we're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch. Whenever I, before I start sewing a project, you're welcome. And before I start sewing a project, I always have, I'm a scrap lover because I always try, no matter if I'm on a domestic, industrial, I don't care what I'm on, I always do a test scrap because I have done it where there was like nesting or something happened and like I was devastated. I had to pick out everything. So I'm using Saba thread, 40 weight, and it's just really pretty blue. I have another one because sometimes when I'm on Way Whack, I accidentally pick up 2 threads, but this is like the prettiest blue. So I know my fabric's pink, but I wanted to try some. I like contrast and color, and because I'm using the Tim Holtz fabric and it has a lot of like watercolors merging, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna use my top stitching is blue on my card slots. Yeah, that's exactly it. Structure interfacing. I love that stuff. So I'm gonna sew off on this, and it's just 1/8 of an inch, and I'm at 2.5. Slow and steady. I like a nice top stitching because I feel like if one stitch is out of line, you're gonna see it. If you're like, hey, I don't want to do that, match it. Just match it. It'll make your life easier. And see, 1/8 of an inch, and then we're gonna go up, and you can have fun with it. Like you can have your bobbin a different color so that when just have fun. 1/8 of an inch is like, I don't know, I don't have it, it's not marked on my thing, it's that in between in your foot. And sorry, I'm gonna flip this over because I didn't want the handles to throw me off. I'm doing the purl exactly how it's written. I probably will do different hacks after we make this one. But this tutorial is for somebody that just definitely wants that's like, I wanted to make the purl, but there's hardly any videos, or I want to ask questions or something just to reference it by. But I think I've seen someone, I'm not too sure, someone made the purl, I know, where it was like a zip around. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've seen it, but I've never done it. But I definitely want to try it. I love zip around wallets. Just like I kind of want to make it in vinyl, but like my mom always says, you have to crawl before you walk. So again, I'm an advocate of making it originally how the designer wanted. So therefore, you can see what you would need to tweak to make it the way you want it. They give these beautiful puzzle pieces that we weren't able to create without them. All right. So we top stitched, and now we're on page 4. I'm sorry, we're still on page 4, and we top stitched. So what we're going to do, there's this I think is the coolest thing, because this, so you're going to line the first one up. You can either line it up side by side. If not, then you can measure. I did have a seam gauge. Okay, you can use a seam gauge and go exactly in between. If you're like, hey, my measuring's not the best, so you can measure. Oldie but goodie, and they come with every sewing kit for a reason. You can. Do exactly, you could put a pin, kind of position them right on top of each other, and seam gauge, you can just gauge it. And I take my time with this because I will be upset if my pockets are crooked. It's not the same as like a crooked zipper where you can just unpick it out. I'll be like flipping the desk. So Monica and I, when we do our FaceTimes, like when we're sewing, and we're just like, we're two people just sewing, and we know we have kids and it's going to get loud and chaotic, but we just want to talk to someone else that's sewing, right? Sometimes if we mess up on a project, I'm like, we want to Hulk out and just like flip the whole desk. So every time I see that, I envision one of us just like flipping over a desk. So you just take your time, and you can use a ruler, but I find the seam gauge, because it has those little feet, like the arrow, you can place it just right on the top. And I'm sorry, and before I try to wrongly do this and show you, the 2-inch mark, and I should have drawn it on the side of the fabric. This is a heat friction pen. It'll just, I can steam it out. You're going to draw your 2-inch line and bring this pocket up to that line, and then measure out the 0.75 inches. Oh, I don't need that giant one. Let's see. And I definitely cut my panel on the longer side, but the longer side, and this top part's a little crooked, but it's going to be okay because I can fix it because there's like a, I can actually fix that now because that's going to drive me bonkers. I hate when you like cut something out and it's a little off angle. I'm like horrible at that sometimes. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so just double check your 2-inch line. It was at an angle, it wasn't the best. And then what this does is this should be looking exactly like this. If that's a bad part about not having the Shave Flex 101. Your card slots on the top and on the bottom are going to be really floppy, but this part's going to be nice and crisp because you have some kind of stabilizer in it. So what it says to do is after you're done pleating, check to make sure your pockets are 8.5, and mine's is at 9 because I cut it way off. I'm still not happy with this 2-inch. All right, I'm gonna fix this one more time because I'm one of those people that it will drive me. I will be like, what is going on? It would help if I actually had my rotary out. Yeah, I'm one of those people who can't sit and cut either. All right. Oh, me? No. I know Monica thinks I sew fast, but I don't. I feel like I take forever in a day to do it. I just like everything to be as symmetrical as I can get. And just keep it as straight as you possibly can. I know it can be difficult, but it's worth it in the end. I know it's tedious, but it's definitely worth it in the end. And then we're going to get this to the 2-inch mark. That's better. We did it. I have it. Okay, it bothers me. I think most of my time is not sewing, it's cutting. So, yeah. I'll take my time, and I like hand cutting. So we're going to base these card slots down at 1/8 of an inch. And if your machine gives you a little bit of problems, this is where that hop jumper comes in handy. And mine's is on my on Lucille from yesterday. But I don't have a lot of bulk because I didn't use Shape Flex 101. Oh yeah, my hair's crooked all the time. That's the joy of curls. Maybe that's why I don't like crooked lines. It's a base, so you don't have, I don't really, it's a, I'm still at 2.5. I'm just going 1/8 of an inch. I have scissors everywhere, so if you see mysterious scissors come out of nowhere, apparently I have a scissor problem. So we're going to be on page 5, and this will be the last page that we do tonight. We're going to, we already did, we based on 1/8 of an inch, and then we're going to measure in 3 inches in on both sides and draw a line. And I pull pins out of my hair all the time. I'm going to use a nice blue that I can iron off from a friction pin. I love these things. But if you do live in colder climates and it gets below 0, they can appear. They can appear. So we're going to cut the panel in half after we're going to go up and then back down. And it's like 1/8 of an inch away from each other. No, I didn't say structure was the same as woven fuse. No. This is my plea right now. I don't think any interfacing can really interchange out any. Like, I hear people saying, oh, foam, you can use Decovil light. No. Foam feels different than Decovil light, and Decovil light feels different from foam. They both can be used, but they can't change one and each other out. That's like saying drinking Hawaiian punch is like drinking water. Does it have water in it? That's questionable. Yeah, it's not the same thing. They're both liquids, but they just have different purposes. Every person has a different feeling. I love Decovil light. I love foam. I really like foam. I use structure like for pockets, or I have done it for, like, I didn't have interfacing and wanted to try different ones, and I used it for the gusset or whatever. I try to tell people there's not really a wrong or right way for interfacing. I think that we have it in our head that one interfacing is better than the other, and realistically they all do the same function. They either interface or stabilize the material. It's just depending on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so this is really close to each other, the 1/8 of an inch. And I'll show you. Man, I need better snips. Every time I think I find my golden ones, then they do something wonky. All right, so believe it or not, there's 2 lines there. So we're going to cut this in half without interrupting the other stitches. I want to try Pellon 44. That's what this pattern actually suggested. I never heard of it. So I placed an order because Overstock had it for like $25, and then I had a 15% coupon and it was free shipping. I was like, why not? So that's on its way. Because it's coming USPS, it may not be here until next month, but it's on its way. So I'm going to cut down the center of this. And if you accidentally go into your stitches, because I have, just baste it again. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, I promise. But we have 2. Yay! Now, this is where I highlighted in yellow. Okay. So, it says trim 1/4 of an inch off along each short end, only for 1. So it can equal 8 inches now. Only for 1. And I told you I made mine a little longer, so I'm going to take 1/4 of an inch off the top. Wherever you are. Yeah, so when I was like, yeah, slicing into all my things, and I was like, no, you didn't say. Yeah, and then I'm going to make this exactly 8 inches. So our 8-inch piece will now be number 9. And you can just write on the back of the one, 9. And then our other piece will be 8.5. So I'm just going to, because this is 9, so I'm just going to even up the top a little bit. And even at the bottom. All right. All right, so this will be 10. Just draw on the back 10, so you know. So we're going to take pattern piece number 5 and put it to 9. So this pattern piece is the one. 5 and 6 are cut from the same one, but 5 is cut on the fold, so it's the shorter piece, because you have 2. If you have 2, and one should be a little bit shorter than the other, and I have shape flex on it. So you're going to grab the shorter piece and you're going to put it, they have the card slots facing, I always, when I see directional problems with card slots, look at how they have the card slots on here, and they're going in one direction. So I'm going to place my pockets are going to face the machine. The slots are going up towards the machine, and I'm going to place my number 5 on here. And because this is card slots, I'm going to put one wonder clip on every slot, so I know it's not going to pucker, or like it's not going to buckle in on itself, and then 1 or 2 clips for the bottom, because I have went the wrong way and like the pocket looks like it'll be bent in one section, and you're like, why? Because clips or pins are your friends. So we are going to move this out of the way. Sew this up 1/4 of an inch. I'm at 2.5 inch, 2.5 on my thing, I'm on my stitch length, and we're going to back stitch a couple stitches because it's always good to back stitch. And this is not a base, this is a permanent stitch. Take your time and breathe. Back stitch when you get to the top. And then you have this. So what I'm gonna do is move these clips and flip this board, because we're going to iron. I just have like a wonderment of stuff going on here. We're gonna iron this slot we're going to pull this taut and we're going to iron let's see, give it a little second so I can start steaming, and it's already steaming. Move this here, and we're going to top stitch 1/8 of an inch. And then we'll write number 9 on the back again, but at this point we know it's the one that didn't the one that doesn't have the one that doesn't have the side is obviously 10 now. But just in case I'm having an off day, See, this is where I think would be a little bit difficult for vinyl. I feel like this could be vinyl, but you would need to manipulate where maybe only the flaps, like the exterior pieces, could be vinyl, because this right here, I wouldn't even try with waterproof canvas. I feel like the bulk in waterproof canvas alone would be tremendous. So we top stitched 1/8 of an inch, and we have some pretty contrasting stitching. And that is the end of page 5, class. So, next week we're going to be doing pages 6 through 9, and then we'll finish it off on Friday, the next following Friday, because this only has like 13 pages, and we'll be having really wonderful, like, flooding the wall with really pretty pearls. Thank you. I'm really excited. We're gonna be, Swoon's gonna is going to Samantha and Lizzie, who you met, Lizzie, and Samantha was on the live who interviewed me. Lizzie interviewed me, and Samantha was also on the live commenting. Is one person with their entries of their swoon. We're gonna give it enough time so everyone can enter. Will win my wallet and maybe some goodies that I put in there too as well. So maybe some of my favorite things. So I am really loving this, and it's going to be open to everyone. That was what I asked for. I think it's important. I hate when, like, Bernina had this really awesome Tula Pink theme for, like, the Tula Pink Bernina, but it was only open to Canada, and I was so jealous of Canada. So jealous. So, I mean, I didn't think I was going to win, but I wanted the chance to win. So we're done. I would put everything away so that you don't misplace pieces. Like I said last week, for Christmas I did a lot of Secret Santas, and I was like going ham with these project planners. It's a free project on by Annie. Tammy, if you didn't know, she interviewed her, and she's a wonderful person. What I do is when I have a project, I literally stuff everything in this bag, and I have hooks in my room, and therefore I won't have missing pieces, because I'm notorious for missing something every single time. So I put everything back into its little handy dandy planner, and then I'm good. The pearl. So does anyone have any questions? If I didn't answer something on the live, which I'm not as good as Tammy and Monica as that. I like it sucked in. I probably even have my husband calls it like an evil smirk smile when I'm sewing, because that's what I do. You can ask me a question and I will respond, or a member of the swoon team will definitely respond as well. So I want to say good night, everyone. Oh, more. If you need more info, just type the info you need. And one of the team will definitely get back in touch with you. And it was really fun sewing with you tonight, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. And Tammy has an interview with Swoon this week coming up too, so you will get to know a little bit more about her, and it should be in the event section as well. And I'll see you guys next Friday, and I'm always around the group. All right, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Everyone stay safe, and good night. Bye.